Just start singing.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Xmas Your Enthusiasm. This week, I don't know why I say that. Today's episode, we're randomly chose AAMCO, Aamco, from season 1, episode 7. I think this is our first episode from the first season, I believe. Debuted on, because for some reason I feel it's important to tell you people this, I don't know why, on November 26, 2000. Who knows what I was getting up to in November of 2000. Anyway, AAMCO, that's Aamco, of course, and the main thrust of this story is Larry gets into a car accident and has to deal with the Aamco guy. Anyway, before we get started, don't forget, this is not a review of Curb Your Enthusiasm or the episode. What we're doing is going through each of Larry's transgressions, a word I fucking hate, just like I don't know why I keep doing listing the date of the episode. Each of Larry's transgressions, big or small, and I score each one whether Larry wins or loses that transgression. And then we'll see at the end, is Larry the big asshole we all think he is, or is he, closer? Because through 7 episodes so far, or 8 episodes, I'm sorry, his win-loss record is 40-44, so not too bad, close to 500. Anyway, let's get started. Oh, let's just say Happy Mother's Day, even though you won't be hearing this on Mother's Day unless the post-production on this goes even slower than I think it will, and this will be Mother's Day 2026. Anyway, speaking of Mother's Day, other than happy birthday to all you mothers out there, there's plenty in my life that totally rock. I sent Uber Eats. I sent a friend of mine Dunkin' Donuts, a dozen Dunkin' Donuts for Mother's Day. It's a little bit of it's an actual gift, but it's also funny because whenever I'm at her house, I get Dunkin' Donuts, and I love vanilla creams, and everybody else seems to hate vanilla creams. So I thought it'd be funny to order 12 vanilla cream donuts, Then I get a call. I'm getting blown up from Uber on my phone. I'm looking at it. I'm not answering it. What the fuck is it? And then, because I forgot, because I wasn't getting the donuts. They weren't coming to me. This is 2 hours away. I immediately forgot I'd ordered them. And I was like, why is Uber calling me? So anyway, then I realized, anyway. So long story short, not really, though. Not if I can help it, seems. The girl at Dunkin' Donuts tells me for an order that big of vanilla creams, I'm going to have to call ahead a day or two so they can prepare for it. So is that crazy? Like, who thinks ahead that far about vanilla cream? Is vanilla cream that of an odd flavor? I wouldn't think so. Like, they don't have a dozen laying around. Anyway, so yeah, like I got to think ahead next time I want to get somebody donuts with my beloved vanilla cream. But anyway, I thought that was kind of weird. Got a call ahead. My Panera Bread update. I'm still wrapped up, twisted about the tipping thing. But also, I've noticed that while I love taking advantage of the Sip Club thing, it's outrageous. I've already this month. It tells me I've saved $60, and I've really only been here throughout the course of a day to take advantage of it, like 4 days. The unfortunate part is, as much as I love doing that, their iced tea is absolute trash. I mean, I'm sucking down this shit by the gallon every day, and even for just like plain unsweet iced tea, it is garbage. I'd rather drink the water out of my sink. And I don't mean the running tap water. I mean water that's been sitting in my sink. But I just love being a part of the Sip Club thing at Panera Bread. I'm just destroying it for now, so we'll see. Do you get kidney stones from drinking that much tea or something? I don't know. Okay, anyway. First transgression is a mild one. It's not really a fight, but it's enough of something. It's Larry comes walking in, and Cheryl's talking to some friend of hers that we never saw before or again. And the friend has borrowed a videotape of Larry's movie he did called Sour Grapes, which he brings up a lot in the beginning, I think, and then just kind of never does again. And then the girl, I think he's like, "How'd you like it?" or whatever. And the woman, she's trying to be nice. It's obvious she didn't fucking like it, uh, which is the theme whenever he does bring up sour grapes. Uh, but she was just trying to be nice about it, very tactful. Like she's like, "I like the cover, or, whatever." And Larry knows that she's bullshitting. And to his credit, he was starting to get a little snippy. You think he's going to turn into a sarcastic asshole, Larry, but he did keep it together. I'm going to give him credit. He gets the win here because he kept his cool. Um, but why is she returning a tape of Larry David's movie to Larry David? Like, does he only have one copy of this movie he wrote and produced, like a real Hollywood movie? He has one copy. You better not lose it. Like, why is she returning this video? You think he'd be like, great, keep it, Especially if he knows that they're probably not going to like it anyway. So it's not like it's a triumphant return, like Mario Puzo, or Coppola, rather, when he lends somebody The Godfather for the first time. He's just sitting in his office waiting for them to come back so he can just sit there and bask in it anyway. So why is Larry even like, why would she even have to return it anyway? Anyway, Larry was nice, so we'll give him credit anyway. So he starts out 1-0. I think he starts out with a win. I haven't studied it, and I'm not gonna do the work. But if I had to guess, I feel like Larry starts out 1-0 in a lot of these. Anyway, second transgression. Ugh. Larry versus Cheryl. Larry's like, why? Cheryl's throwing a dinner party, and Larry's all upset. He's like, why are we having a dinner party? Why would you invite people over here? Yada yada. Again, Larry, lighten the fuck up, please. God forbid anybody want to interact with other humans. I'm with you, but it's somebody else. If I was living with somebody else and they wanted to have a dinner party, I'd probably enjoy it. But me deciding to do anything is just a fucking nightmare scenario. And then he says something like, people of Brooklyn don't do this. That's my Bernie Sanders imitation. People of Brooklyn don't do this? What? Some of my favorite memories of all time were when I was in Brooklyn at 100 Metro throwing dinner parties. So I don't know what Larry wants us to think people in Brooklyn do. Not everybody's like Larry. What's to sit under his couch or something, counting the shrimp boats. And then the other weird thing is, Larry's already lost his argument. It's like, just lighten the fuck up. But then his whole thing. Then he has his bet with Cheryl. If he doesn't have a good time, he gets to pick his fantasy or whatever, and he comes up with blowjob in the car. Like that's your big thing. You can do anything with your wife, and you're like, blowjob in the car. Like you're a teenager getting away. It's like, all right, well, we'll see. Next transgression, another mild one, but it's Jeff coming after Larry for not congratulating him on buying a new car. Jeff buys a new car, and then he waits, and then he gets upset with Larry for not congratulating him. Like, I can see if, like, he's like, hey, I got a new car, and Larry immediately doesn't say anything, and then he busts his chops, but he's like been waiting. It's like Larry with the condolences thing, but now it's about a fucking new car. Does anybody give a shit? Like, is this a thing people do? Anyway, it's just really weird. But the weirder part was, Jeff does this weird build up, like, "Hey, I'm really mad at you for something," and Larry's like, "What?" And then Jeff does this weird dramatic pause where he walks to the couch. Like, who the fuck does that? So fuck Jeff for being so dramatic with this whole thing anyway. And then he's like, "Oh, now you got to drive the car." Like, who does that? Like, insist that somebody drives the fucking car. We don't do, hey, here's my new dildo, try it out. Here's an airplane built out of pine cones and farts. Why don't you take it up? Who does that? Like, insists on somebody driving a car? Maybe they don't want to drive your fucking car. Anyway, Larry wins that one. Jeff was just, I should give a double on Jeff for that one, but I'm trying to be nice. All right, next up, we have the actual Aamco, the car incident where there's an Aamco car commercial with a horn that comes on the radio, and Larry thinks it's the driver behind him, and he turns around and gives the guy shit. So the shit guy retaliates by smashing into his car, Jeff's new car, and then driving away. Because now Larry's driving the car around since Jeff insisted, so now he's got to pretend he gives a fuck. I mean, look, Larry's wrong for turning around. He got it wrong. It wasn't the guy honking. It was the radio. But who just then smashes your car into another car and drives off? Like, all right. So Larry wins that one because it's tough to be a bigger asshole than that. So now Larry's up 3-1 in this episode. Not too shabby. I also love how right after they start driving, and of course there's a noise going on in the engine or something, and Larry's like, "What's that noise?" It's like, I don't know, the fucking car accident you were just in. It's like Chuck Berry when he'd do his weird thing with the chicks, and they'd be like wanting to cuddle. He'd be like, "Oh, but you got piss all over you, baby." It's like, we know what just happened. Okay. Anyway. Next up, Larry's at the dinner party, and this guy comes up to him, and the guy who we're going to see later, he just right out of the bat confronts Larry about the Seinfeld money. And they kind of asking him how much you make a ton of money, right? Or whatever. Kind of being gross about it. You're not going to win that. You're not going to win walking up to somebody and asking how much money they make or whatever, or if they get a lot of money. Even though, ironically, walking up to somebody and just flat out asking how much money they make is a very Larry David thing to do. But no, you can't do it. So Larry wins another one. Jeez, 4-1, Larry. And also, I think, if I remember, the guy said, referred to it as the Seinfeld show, which I think I pointed out before. Whenever Larry David or Jerry Seinfeld refer to Seinfeld, the show, they always say the Seinfeld show. They never just say Seinfeld. And I've never heard anyone else do it, but now this guy said it. That's weird. Anyway, Larry's up 4-1, looking pretty good. Now we're at the dinner party, and now this same guy, I don't know what his name is. His real name, the actor, is Mike Haggerty, who you'd recognize if you look him up. I think he died a couple years ago. He was in that Bridget Everett show, Somebody Somewhere, or Somewhere. Yeah, fantastic show, but I think he died during the film of that. He's been in a million things. Everyone loves him. He's great. But in this episode of Curb, he is a shithead. Take a listen to what happens here. So, first of all, not only does he take Larry's chair at the head of the table, but he literally elbows him, shoves him aside to take the chair. It's like, what the fuck? Then he makes it worse by doing this big announcement, like it's his house. Like, all right, everybody sit down and relax and enjoy your dinner. Just dive right in. He does this whole fucking L train to Coney Island, please stop for closing doors. Whatever. Like it's his fucking place. And then he makes it even worse by diving in with a prayer. Now let's all do a prayer together, saying grace or whatever. It's like bam, bam, bam. That is a fucking rare. I don't know if it'll ever happen again. Rare hat trick win for Larry 3 times in the same scene, back to back to back. This other motherfucker fucks up. This asshole, he's just handing Larry buckets out there in the court. And it's like he's begging to be in the, what we've talked about, where we're learning that sometimes it just helps to have a bigger asshole in the room. He's gunning for the Hall of Fame of this. So Larry goes from 4-1 to 7-1, just like that, thanks to this guy. This may be shaping up to be Larry's best episode yet. But one thing going on throughout that scene I noticed is when interacting with these people that have showed up as guests, Larry's trying to make an obvious point that these white people, like white Protestants or whatever, Cheryl's crew, I guess, are just boring as fuck. And he says he's joking, but he says next time, you promise me you'll bring some Jewish people in. And you know what? He's fucking right. These people are duller than fuck. We've all been with them. Some of you maybe are them. I aspire to be them because nobody's fucking inviting me to fucking dinner parties to hang around and be cosmopolitan. But yes, a couple of Jewish guys showing up, Jewish chicks, whatever, not chicks, would definitely liven up, and they'd be way funnier than this crew. And there is a pecking order, there is a hierarchy. Of course, at the absolute top of this pyramid, the fun, hangout, pyramid is, of course, old black guys. Right underneath them, old black women. But if you find yourself in a room, if you ever see three old black guys in a room together, go to them. Don't try to talk. Don't try to be all, we're buddies. Just try to listen, and you will be entertained. It is fantastic in every way. So Larry's right. Let's get some non-boring motherfuckers in the house here. All right, next transgression. Ugh. We have Larry complaining to Cheryl, confronting her about the toothpaste. Not a big thing, but Larry's right. And also he's like, Cheryl's buying some Indian toothpaste. I could do a, Indian joke or dot on the head joke. I'm totally baffled. What is Indian toothpaste? Anyway, Larry wins that one. Knock it off, Cheryl. Get some fucking crust or whatever. I know you're trying to save the world or whatever, or you did for like 10 minutes before you did your acting, whatever, in the series. Who's buying Indian toothpaste? That just sounds fucking disgusting. Knock it off. Larry wins that one. Now we have the caterer took the leftovers from the dinner party the previous night. And so Cheryl sends Larry over to confront her about it. And look, nobody's saying it's okay to take the leftover food without checking. I'm sure they wouldn't have given a shit. So on one hand, the caterer is wrong, obviously. But number one, we see it's not even a lot of food. Number two, Larry just literally hands it all to a homeless guy anyway. And oh yeah, gee, what do you know? The whole thing is idiot Jeff's fault anyway. Apparently he has this fucking thing with the caterer. She brings home the food, gives his ass a fucking taste. Now, I don't know why the caterer didn't just fucking say that when Larry confronts her. I mean, he comes in her house and accuses her of this. I would have just immediately collapsed. Hey, guess what? It's your fucking buddy set me up to do this shit. Go yell at him. So I don't know why she took it. The caterer is kind of in a tough spot. So somehow, well, not somehow, totally because it's fucking asshole Jeff's fault, we got to give that a loss to Larry. I mean, that whole thing was orchestrated. Again, the caterer could have just said, hey, I don't give a fuck, talk to Jeff about it. Larry's winning streak in this episode is over. He goes to 8-2. But he rebounds nicely with the win. He shows up at Jeff's and, busts his chops. He's not really angry. He just kind of busts his chops about the whole setup where Jeff gets some of the food. He's eating fucking orange chicken and apple tarts at 7 in the morning because that's normal. But one interesting thing is Larry accuses him of eating the food, and Jeff just immediately says, stop it. And then they just carry on with another conversation, whatever. It's funny because earlier, and I think Jeff does this throughout the series, but when he's confronted with some bullshit he's done, he likes to go, yeah, it's no problem. I love when guys do that. Just, you found out I robbed $10 million from your house? It's no problem. Like, we're supposed to go, oh, well, he says it's no problem. And it seems to work here. Jeff just says stop it, and Larry just says stop it. Now, the last time Jeff did the whole no problem thing we saw in here was when he admitted to jerking off, spraying his jizz all over Larry's house, even after he ate an ox and drank a barrel of wine or something. But anyway, we talked about that in the previous episode. So anyway, Larry rebounds with a nice win, goes up 9-2. And now we have, again, maybe history's greatest monster on Curb. The guy who confronted him and took the chair and did the prayer and took his underwear and everything that runs with air. Now Larry, he's got a strange phone message from this guy. Yes, phone messages were a thing back in the dark 2000s, people. I say that as if there are young motherfuckers listen to this, please. So the guy leaves a message on his machine, like, Larry, call me, something's bothering me. Call me. Who would leave what kind of psychopath would leave a message like that? Or no, the guy's like, we'll talk later in the day. It's not even like call me immediately. he somehow leaves it so Larry's got to wait and worry about it for like 8 hours. Who the fuck? It's a fucking monster. It's like the original. It's like the three bubbles in a text. Why would you do that? It's something about just say it on the message so Larry doesn't fucking worry about it. Anyway. So Larry wins at 110 to 2. You can't be leaving fucking weird ass messages on the phone machine. Now Larry, he goes to meet the guy, 10 hours later, because, he's been thinking about it. Why is this guy upset at me? And turns out the guy wants to apologize for taking the chair. But before he gets able to, Larry cuts him off because he thinks the guy is pissed off because he thinks that Larry thinks that he doesn't want anybody in his guest house at Martha's Vineyard. Anyway, doesn't matter. The guy was ready to apologize. Larry snatches defeat from the jaws of victory by just jumping in. Oh, I don't care if you can come stay at my guest house. And then the guy gets offended, like, who the fuck are you? I have friends. Just because I'm a lowly mechanic, you think I can't stay at Martha's Vineyard or whatever. But then again, the guy could have left a clear fucking message on the machine instead of being an asshole. They both suck. But come on, Larry. You totally blew it. You had an easy win sitting there in the tee, and you blew it. Second loss in a row. No, I'm sorry. Your final transgression of the episode, you lose 10-3. Also, I think the guy said, I got to go. It's my busy season. Do mechanics have busy seasons? Like, do people wreck their cars at different times of the year? I mean, I'm kind of trying to be an asshole about it, but is that a real question? Am I asking a real question? Oh, and then the whole show ends. Not that it matters, but it ends where they're driving. Larry's driving, and he reminds Cheryl that she owes him a blowjob in the car. So she unstraps her seatbelt. I mean, come on, Cheryl. Safety first. I don't know why some guy's been married to this woman for 10 years is like, oh, my fantasy is to get a blowjob in a moving car. But, all right. Anyway, so Larry finishes 10-3 for this episode, which takes him to, for the season and for the whole series anyway, 50-47. 3 above 500 there. Not bad. This has been Aamco, AAMCO. Xmas Year Enthusiasm. Thanks a lot for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time. Or hear you next time.